So boys, it's been a long time, but finally I am back, and back just in time for the Madden NFL 19 release, which I believe it's coming out on August 7th, and I'll be getting it basically August 6th at 10 p.m. my time, because Eastern time is 12 a.m. But anyway, I will be uploading there on the 7th first day with some Madden NFL 19 franchise mode, and since it's close to release date, we need to go pick our team for Madden NFL 19 franchise this season. So right now, narrowed down to 5 different teams here in the NFL for the franchise mode this season. So number 1, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have the Detroit Lions, the Seattle Seahawks, Cincinnati Bengals, and the Washington Redskins rounding off that list. So today, with the help of Photoshop, I'll be going and breaking down each team and then eliminating each team after, and see who is going to be my team for this year's franchise mode in this team selection video. So number 1 up on the hot seat right now is going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers. So the Steelers are a team that is very, I'd say, is championship ready. The last season they did finish 13-3, one of the best records in the NFL, but unfortunately lost to Blake Bortles and the Jaguars in the divisional round. So the Steelers, number 1 for overalls, they have Antonio Brown, that wide receiver, 99 overall, the best receiver in the entire game, and he's the cover boy as well, so it'd be very fun bombing it deep with Big Ben to him every play. Just kidding, but it'd be just fun having him on offense each time and being reliable for us for years to come. But next up, we have Le'Veon Bell, that running back, 96 overall. He did have some controversy this offseason with his contract and all, but Le'Veon Bell, a very good player, very elusive in the backfield. He'd be fun to have on offense each season in NFL. But next up, we have David Castro there on the offensive line at right guard. David Castro would be great for opening holes for Le'Veon there to get some big runs and for Big Ben to stay back in the pocket. But next up, we have Cameron Hayward there at left end, 88 overall, our first defensive player there here in the ratings. He'd be a beast on the defensive end position. And next up, we have our quarterback, Big Ben Roethlisberger there, 88 overall. He's getting older there. Last season, there was rumors of him retiring after having a poor first start to the season, but he came back, played great to end off the season, but unfortunately lost in the playoffs to the Jaguars in the playoffs there, to Blake Bortles, the beast himself, the GOAT himself. But next up, on the hot seat, we're getting rid of the Steelers. They were not going to be our team for Madden NFL 19. They're a great team, but I want a team that'll be more of a team I can kind of rebuild and retool. But the Steelers is too good to go and start off right off the bat for us this season, and dilly-dilly to them as they're gone. But next up, we have on the hot seat the Detroit Lions. So the Lions from the NFC North, they're a team that seems like if they have another piece added, they could probably go and compete in the playoffs and maybe just luck out and maybe win a playoff game or two. They're not championship ready, but I believe if we rebuild them just slightly, retool them, they will be championship ready in a few seasons. As for the Lions, for the ratings, they have Darius Slay Jr. there at cornerback, 91 overall. Hopefully he'll get picks for days back in the secondary. But when you go on offense here, we have Golden Tate III at wide receiver, 89 overall. Then at running back, we have LeGarrette Blount there, 87 overall, but must have stepped up just enough, as now he's an 87 this season on Madden. Then also in offense, at wide receiver, we have Marvin Jones Jr. there, 87 overall. Another great wide receiver target for Matthew Stafford, as it'd be fun bombing it deep to Marvin Jones and Golden Tate. But going to defense here, we have Glover Quinn there, free safety, 87 overall. Then on the offensive line, we have TJ Lang there at right guard at 86 overall. But as an honorable mention there, our quarterback Matthew Stafford there, 85 overall. I'd say one of the most underrated players in the entire league. He'd be fun to play with in Madden, as he'd be a great offensive weapon for us for years to come. But unfortunately last season they went 9-7. They're close, but not close enough to make the playoffs. And this season, the same thing for them, at least for my Madden franchise, as they're close, but not close enough, as the Lions, they're not going to be making my top 3 year for teams, as they're going and going to get banished to the dumpster fire. Next up, we have on the hot seat the Seattle Seahawks. So the Seahawks, they're a team that it seems like they're kind of going down, they're trending down, as their defense kind of falling apart. They lost Richard Sherman to the 49ers in the offseason. It just seems like everything is not going to go their way this season for the NFL. But last season they finished 9-7, did not make the playoffs, unfortunately, as Seattle, they're kind of a long cry from what they were a couple years ago, going to the Super Bowls, back-to-back Super Bowls. I still have no idea why they did not rush Marshawn Lynch. They're the best running back in the league in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, but nonetheless, the ratings here for Madden NFL 19. Bobby Wagner, the first rated player there for them at middle linebacker, 97 overall. He'd be a beast on defense. Then you have Earl Thomas III, that free safety, 95 overall. That's still a remaining piece from the Legion of Boom from a couple years ago, still on that team. Then you have Russell Wilson there, a quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, up there for MVP last season. He's in 92 overall this season in Madden. Then as well on offense, we have Doug Baldwin at wide receiver there, 90 overall, a great target for Russell Wilson on offense. And then on defense as well, we have Cam Chancellor there at safety at a 90 overall. Chancellor, I thought for sure he might retire, but I guess he's not retiring as he's a 90 overall in Madden. We'll see what happens going into the NFL season in real life, but on the game, he's still there at a 90 overall. So the Seahawks, they're a great team, and they will be making my top 3 as well as the Redskins and the Bengals right now. But going on to the next team, we'll go and put aside the Seattle Seahawks for now, and we're going to bring up the next team, which is the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, they have some uniforms that I kind of like them, even though they are kind of ugly. I do like the Bengals uniforms. They just seem kind of fresh to me. But nonetheless, though, they're from the AFC North there. They finished 7-9 last season, did not make the playoffs, but they're a team that I don't see making the playoffs this season or for the next season. But if some of their pieces develop, I could see them maybe making the playoffs in a couple of years. But for number 1 there, 4 ratings, they have AJ Green at wide receiver, a 93 overall, a great offensive weapon for whoever's going to be playing quarterback this season, most likely Andy Dalton. But nonetheless, next up is Geno Atkins at defensive tackle, 91 overall. Then Tyler Eifert there at tight end, 89 overall. Then at right outside linebacker, you have Vontaze Burfict there, 87 overall. And then Giovanni Bernard at running back, 84 overall. But I don't see him maybe being a running back for their future, as an honorable mention for the Bengals is Joe Mixon. He's a running back, 81 overall, a great dynamic offensive talent for years to come on the Bengals. It'd be fun following his career on the team as he starts off at 81 overall and hopefully develops into the 90s as he'd be a beast to play with this season on Madden. But also as well as an offensive honorable mention is Andy Dalton there, 77 overall. I said possibly playing quarterback this season, as a 77 is not that great, and maybe he could get replaced by another quarterback. You never really know with Madden, as there could be better quarterbacks on the market for trades, or maybe even a better quarterback in the free agency. But I know for sure at least he'd play 1 season with us, and just kind of try him out and see what happens after the season. If he has a great season, maybe keep him on board. If he doesn't, maybe replace him. I have no idea at this point. But the Bengals, they're on my team for the top 3. As you round out to the last team in the top 3, and that's going to be the Washington Redskins. The Redskins, we'll put the Bengals aside for now. The Redskins, their team, I like their jerseys. I like their position maybe this in the next few years. They are in the tough NFC East, but I believe if we go and develop our team right, we can compete for a championship. But at tight end, number 1 for the ratings is Jordan Reed. They're 94 overall, a beast on offense. Be a great piece to have on the team for years to come. Then at left tackle there, we have Trent Williams, 94 overall as well. Beast on the offensive line, gotta keep him around. Then you have Brandon Sheriff there at right guard, 90 overall, as well on the offensive line with Trent Williams there. They have pretty decent offensive line there in Washington. I kind of like it there for overalls. But nonetheless, at middle linebacker, first player on defense here, Zach Brown, 88 overall. Beast in the middle. And then also at linebacker, you have Ryan Kerrigan there, left outside linebacker, 87 overall. Great to have on defense for years to come as well. But also on defense for an honorable mention is Josh Norman there, the trash-talking corner there, 87 overall. It'll be pretty fun having him on the team and seeing what he does in the next couple seasons for the Redskins. But also an honorable mention is Alex Smith, their quarterback this season, 84 overall. First time coming to the Redskins. We'll see what kind of happens with him, as he was a great player for the Chiefs. I'm not really entirely sure why the Chiefs are getting rid of him so soon, but I guess they're putting all their chips in the middle for Patrick Mahomes and seeing what happens with him. But Alex Smith, still a reliable quarterback. He's getting up there in age, but I believe he can still kill it with the Redskins for years to come as long as we keep him around. But right now, that is our top 3, as the Redskins is the last team that make it in our top 3. So right now we have the Seahawks, the Bengals, and the Redskins there. So the Bengals, first up they come. They're a great team. I'd love to do them, but unfortunately, I don't really want to get a quarterback right off the bat, as Andy Dalton seems like it'd be pretty much dispensable after the first season. So the Bengals, not a team I want to do. Off to the dumpster fire they go. And then there were 2. We have 2 teams left. We have the Redskins and the Seahawks. So we'll put the Redskins back on the hot seat. They're a team that has great jerseys. I love what they have in Washington as far as talent, because Alex Smith, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the entire league, very consistent, very great. At running back, they have Darius Geis. At tight end, they have Jordan Reed. Their offensive line is good. Defense, as far as linebackers, are great. They need to build, their defense needs a little bit of work, but other than that, though, they're a team that I could see competing in a few years. It would be somewhat of a challenge of them winning a championship in their division, as they do have the Eagles and the Cowboys, as well as the Giants, who have Saquon Barkley. So it'd be fun seeing matchups between all those teams with the Redskins. They seem to have the most entertaining value out of all the teams right now, and that's why they'll be my team in Madden NFL 19. The Seahawks, unfortunately, they do have a great team, but it's not good enough, as the Redskins just love them more than the Seahawks. So in the dumpster fire, the Seahawks go. And this year in Madden NFL 19, my team will be the Washington Redskins. So join me this Madden NFL season as I take Alex Smith, Jordan Reed, and the Redskins, hopefully to Super Bowls upon Super Bowls in Madden NFL 19, this franchise mode, dropping on August 7th, the first day for the Hall of Fame edition, as it comes out a few days earlier than the regular edition. But anyway, make sure to like and subscribe for that Madden NFL 19 Washington Redskins series, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.